Hi friends, I'm Amy and this is A-Star Reads and it's time for my March TBR. So for this TBR, I'm going to be talking about my Spring-Into-Reading-Athon books that I have to read for that one. I'm going to be talking about any of the challenges that I have to do for March, other books that I need to get on this TBR because I want to get Shell off my back, my friend Shell. And there's other things that are happening, buddy reads, things like that. I'm going to talk about all those books in this video, but I'm going to start with Spring-Into-Reading-Athon because this is the big readathon that I'm co-hosting in the month of March. And I'm happy for that because the weather is not giving spring right now. The sun at least is starting to give spring. It's nice to be driving to work in the morning and it not be pitch black. So that's a benefit, but we're getting some snowflakes today. So like, what's going on? So hopefully Spring-Into-Reading-Athon will at least give me spring vibes and maybe we can coax spring into Washington. Season-a-thon is being co-hosted by myself and Melanie from Completely Melanie, she's the creator of this readathon, as well as Stephanie from Stephanie's Book First. So I will link their information down in the description box below. Please go check out their channels, make sure you subscribe so you'll see when we have sprints coming out, and of course so you can be there for our live shows. So I'm going to put up the bingo board for Spring-Into-Reading-Athon here, and I'm going to go through these prompts fairly quickly because there's a lot of them and I don't want to spend too much time going over these books. It'll just take a long time. And I will say that I have tentatively placed a goal of getting a blackout. Will it happen? I don't know. My reading was fantastic in January and half of February, and then now towards the end of February, I'm not slumping, I'm just slowing down. So we'll see how my reading goes in March. Okay, so for the first spot on the board, I have Spring Cleaning, which is to read a book that has been collecting dust on your TBR. And for that, I have the Joy Luck Club, because I guarantee you this has been collecting dust, and it probably still has, yeah, it's a little dusty. Oh, yep, it definitely still has a little bit of dust on it. This is one that I've had on my TBR for a while. I don't remember when I bought this, actually, but it's been there for a while, and especially on my classic shelf, those books get a lot of dust on them. So I will be reading this one. The second book is New Beginnings, and this is to read the first book in the series. So I'll be reading the group book, which is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. The third prompt is Wet T-Shirt Contest, and this is to read a smutty book. And because I'm absolutely picking up the next book in the Bridgerton series, An Offer from a Gentleman by Julia Quinn is the book I'll be using for this. This series definitely has some steamy moments, so I think it works for this one. For Road Trip, the prompt is to listen to an audiobook. And for this one, I'm reading Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadman. This is the first in a romantasy series, and the audiobook is okay. I'm not loving it, but it's a long one, so I've strapped myself in for the ride, and I'm definitely gonna stick it out. I'm liking the book, like I'm very interested in the book. I just don't know how much I love the narrator for the audiobook. She's growing on me. She's growing on me. The final prompt in this row is Let It Shine, and that's to read a cozy book or a book you think will make you happy. And for this one, I'm picking Fenris and Mott by Greg Van Eekhout. And this is a middle grade, and it's short. Like, this is going to make me very happy because middle grade's fun to read. Usually you get, I don't know about cozy necessarily, but happy vibes from these types of books. And I'm happy that it's going to be a nice little short book on my TBR that will just be a bit different from some of the heavy stuff I feel like I've been reading lately. In the next row, we have Stormy Weather, and this is to read a book that intimidates you. And for this one, I'm going with Jade War by Fonda Lee. I have to read this book anyways for Bookstara Readalongs, which is the read-along group I co-host with Danielle from Bookstara and Paige from Page of the Page. And I will put the announcement video for 2024 up here so you can check that out. We are currently working on the Greenbone Saga, and in March, we have to read Jade War. I feel like this series is very readable, but it's a big book, and my reading right now has been a little bit like this, you know? I don't know if I'm always spending my time well right now. And it intimidates me because I think shit's gonna hit the fan in this book. I really do. So I'm like excited, but am I ready for it? I'm not sure. Will I be in the mood for it? Am I in the mood for this kind of fantasy right now? That's kind of some of the thoughts that are going through my head. Like, this is a great series. I'm enjoying it so far, but it's a lot. You're taking in a lot with this. And there are a lot of characters. There's a lot of things happening. There's a lot going on in here. For spring fashion, it's to read a book with a beautiful cover, and this is subjective, right? So not everybody's going to necessarily agree with me, but I do need to get to Dragonwyck, and I think this is actually very pretty by Anya Seton. This is a classic. I think that this pattern would be a lot prettier on a matte surface. Like if this was a cloth-bound book, I think it would be stunning because I think that it would be, I don't know, I just think this would be a lot prettier if it wasn't so shiny, and Can you imagine if it was actually like embroidered or something? I do think it's pretty. I like the pink flowers. I like a lot of green. And so that's what I'm using for spring fashion. The next prompt is rewind, and that's to read a past Season-a-thon book or from a past Season-a-thon author. So I'm picking up TJ Klune. I'm going to read Under the Whispering Door. I've been wanting to read this for a while and I own it. And I've heard wonderful things about this. I do believe it'll make me cry based on what I've heard. And TJ Klune was a past Season-a-thon author, so this is perfect. The next prompt is April Showers, and that's to read a book that you think will make you sad. And based on what I've heard, Jade War will make me sad. This might also make me sad. I know for a fact this will make me sad, the Joylet Club. Will anything else make me sad? I don't know, but I know that these three for sure will make me sad. So any one of these will work for that. The final prompt in this particular row is Luck of the Irish, and that's to read a book that has a green cover. And so for this, I've got Dragonwyck. There's a lot of green. There's a lot of green. There's even green down here. So that works perfectly for this prompt. In the next row, the first prompt is a self-care prompt. So it's not actually a bookish prompt. I am looking forward to taking a day and doing some self-care stuff. Getting like some sheet masks, or maybe going for a massage, or getting my nails done or something. I'm going to take some time for me. And I'm looking forward to making that work in March. The next prompt is Prom Queen, and this is to read a popular book. And Jade War is going to work for that because this whole series is very popular. I also know that Project Hail Mary will work for that by Andy Weir. Definitely very popular. I'd even say that based on it being a classic, the Joylet Club will work for this. And Under Whispering Door might work for this. Like, there's a lot of popular books here that I think will work really well for this prompt. In the center, we have the group book, which is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. So I'm definitely reading that one because I can't wait to talk to Julie Kagawa about this book and learn more about her process as an author. For spring forward, we need to read the next book in a series. Jade War. This one's working for a lot of these prompts. The final prompt in this row is Love is in the Air, and this is to read a romance or a book centered around friendship. So I am actually going with the friendship aspect of this, and I'm going to go with the Joylet Club because this definitely has a strong friendship element to it. But Fenris and Mott, I think, would also work for this one. I think that there's a friendship between Fenris and Mott. I don't know which one's which. In the next row, we have Over the Rainbow, which is to read a classic or retelling, and Dragonwyck by Anya Seton is a classic. So is the Joylet Club, so either of these work for that. Next, we've got Spring Break, and for this one, we need to read a book that has a beach setting. Here's the thing. This is set in Culver City, which is about 20 minutes, maybe even less, to Venice Beach. So if anybody knows or has read Fenris and Mott, do they go to the beach at any point? Like, does she chase him to the beach at any point? Because they're so close to the beach. I feel like this should work. And there are palm trees on here, but I don't know if they actually get to the beach at any point in this. Do any of these have a beach setting? I don't think this one does. I don't think this one does. And this might work. This might work. How much beach is in this one? Will one of these work for beach? I don't know. Let me know if you, not this one. Let me know. Anything here working for beach? I would love to hear in the comment section down below. The next prompt is to refresh your TBR, get a new book. And it just so happens that for my birthday, my mom got me the next few books in the Bridgerton series. So An Offer from a Gentleman by Julia Quinn is not here yet. It is a new book. And so I'm planning on reading that as soon as I get it in my little hands. So I think it works really well, refreshing my TBR. The next prompt is Women's March, and this is to read a book that has a strong female protagonist in it. And I'm pretty sure that the main character in Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa is incredibly strong and powerful, and she's the main character. So I think that works for that. I do have, of course, the Joylet Club. I do have some strong characters in Jade War. And finally in this row we have Friendship Bracelets, and this is to have a friend pick a book for you. And I can tell you already that Shell and Nathaniel both really want me to read this. Shell especially, because she wants me to get Book Love is Blind done. So Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir is going to be my Friendship Bracelet book. In the final row we have Flower Power, and this is to read a book that has flowers on the cover. And I've already said that this has got beautiful pink little flowers on it, so this works out perfectly for that one. The next prompt is Read Like an Aries, and this is to read a book that is under 250 pages. And so I picked Fenris and Mott by Greg Van Eekhout. And this has, how many? Ooh, the writing is nice and big too, so this is going to be a nice quick read. This has 195 pages, so perfect. Definitely works for the Aries prompt. The next one is Tiptoe Through the Tulips, and this is to read a book that's title matches a song title or lyrics within a song. And I haven't picked a book for this yet. I do have books on my shelves that will work for this, but I'm not quite ready to commit to any books at the moment. So one thing I haven't done yet is find out what the next Tales for Two Trails TBR is going to be, because I'm waiting for Kim from Expedition Through Pages to put out her next TBR video. And once I know what I have to read for that, maybe I can somehow make that work for this particular prompt. I hope. The second to the last prompt is Spring Court. And for this one, you're supposed to read a book that has royalty in it. Kind of think Daughter of No Worlds by Chris Broadbent will work for this. Let me know in the comment section down below if there's going to be any aspects of royalty within Daughter of No Worlds. I feel like there will be. And finally, the last prompt is Teeny Umbrellas, and this is a non-book prompt. And this is to drink your favorite iced beverage. I'm not a huge ice fan, but I really do love old fashions. So maybe I'll get an old fashioned, or maybe in one of these books, I'll hear about a iced drink that sounds good and I'll drink it and I'll get like a bookish drink. Maybe I'll do something like that. It'll probably happen on my self-care day for Spring-Into-Reading-Athon. So that's it for my TBR for Spring-Into-Reading-Athon. And hopefully I can make all these books work. It's a lot, but at the same time, I'm really trying to cover a lot of ground with these particular books. Let's talk about some of my challenges and some of the other things that I'm trying to accomplish within the month of March. As I already mentioned, I would like to get 2 vlogs completed. My Book Love is Blind series. I want to get this series done so that I get a chance to pick the love of my bookish life, and that I get a chance to read both these books because I'm so excited about these. These are my top picks. So hopefully I'll get to read Project Hail Mary and Dragon Wake this month, make those vlogs, put them out there, and then you'll get to see who I love the most. Also, for Aurelium, in my Autumn Equinox, I was able to cover almost every single prompt that I had to do, except for my O-level course in demonology, which was an intro to low-level demons. And this was to read the first book that I found on Instagram. And so when I was scrolling through Instagram recently, because I never ended up doing this prompt, the first book I came across that I saw, and I don't know if I did any video footage of it, but if I did, I'll put it here. I think I did though, was Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. And this worked out perfectly because it's also a Season-a-thon author. So I'm going to be reading this one. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard it's quite sad. And it sounds like it's about our character Wallace, who has died. He's in denial about his death, but he's sort of forced to come to terms with it because there's a Reaper that comes and collects him. But then he's given an opportunity to spend a week with Hugo, who's supposed to help him cross over into the afterlife. And he can kind of, I guess, come to terms with everything, because I think he's struggling quite a bit with this idea that he has died. And I believe that Hugo and Wallace form a connection, a relationship, a friendship. I'm not sure, but it is significant. So I'm really looking forward to reading this because I love TJ Klune's writing, and I'm just hoping that I love it as much as I've heard mixed things. I've heard it's a bit of a departure from some of his other books, and it's definitely more sad. So for my challenges, the first one is Buzzwordathon, which is a monthly challenge created by Kayla from Books and Lala. And for the month of March, the prompt is to read a book with a character name in the title. And so for this, I've got 2 character names in the title. I've got Fenris and Mott by Greg Van Eekhout. And this is a Norse mythology retelling about Fenris, this famous wolf creature. I don't actually know that much about Norse mythology, so I think it'll be really interesting to learn more about Fenris and how he is famous and what kind of trouble he gets poor Mott. I think she's Mott in. Then there's TBR Knockout, and this is a challenge created by Melanie from Completely Melanie. And these have to be books, at least for me especially, these have to be books on my physical TBR. And so the theme for March is new beginnings. So the first prompt is to read a debut novel. And actually, The Joylet Club by Amy Tan is a debut novel. So this works out perfectly. I didn't realize it was, but I was looking up these books, and it turns out that this one is a debut. And then the second prompt is a book about starting over, and I don't quite have it yet, but it will be on my physical TBR. I'm going to use An Offer from a Gentleman by Julia Quinn for this one because I'm pretty sure the female protagonist, the female character, is starting over in a sense, because it sounds like she had a certain place within society, and because of different circumstances, she ended up having to take a job working for the Bridgertons. And I imagine, because this is a romance, she's going to get an offer from a gentleman and hopefully start over again, start a new life. That's my thought. I feel like this will probably work for that prompt. So that's mostly it for my March TBR, pretty much completely it, except for Tales from Two Trails. When we find out what our next round of prompts is going to be, I'm hoping that that will work with these books, because I've got a lot of books here. So that's enough. That's more than enough. Let's see. So at this point, these books, as well as Shadow of the Fox and An Offer from a Gentleman, and as my audiobook Daughter of No Worlds, that is what I'm planning on reading in the month of March. And I don't know. That seems like a lot more now that I'm looking at it. Let me know in the comment section down below, have you read some of these books? Did you enjoy them? Were they not your favorites? I am actually really excited about this TBR. I feel like it's going to be mostly books that I'm going to enjoy, and I have a lot of 5-star predictions here. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see if I am right. Will I give these books 5 stars? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.